Hello, Dr. Mark here at Natural Health. Hope you're having a great evening. Tonight on our patient education workshop, we're going to go over the difference between synthetic vitamins and natural vitamins, or whole food vitamins. So it should be a good night. This is a quick little intro. Dr. Mark Hochschlag here at Natural Health Chiropractic Center in Quincy, Illinois. Hey, we've been doing this for 37 years, working with center process nutrition the whole time, and we use activator adjusting and diversified techniques, Palmer graduate here, and just having lots of fun all these years. So it's been a ride. Hey, we're going to go over some things tonight. It'll be really interesting. Just a little more history of me. Raised 4 sons. Went through football. Had all kind of fun with that. And 2 of my sons are here working in the office with me. Dr. Chip is a chiropractor, and Eddie's my other son, one of the twins, and he's helping me with the nutritional work and some energy coaching, other emotional work. So we have a pretty good array of services here at our office, and looking at natural health things, looking at the body's ability to heal itself and be well and be vital, not just pain relief, but actually true vital and vibrant health. So to get into our topic tonight, talking about our differences between natural vitamins and synthetic, have a good little handout here. We're going to put that in the comment section, I think, if technicalities work here, and you'll have that to take along and look through. But there's a lot of differences here. And the reason that is important, and as I look through the synthetic vitamins list here, is that I was reading 95% of all vitamins sold are synthetic and are often made by pharmaceutical companies. So most of the stuff that you get out there, you know, Aunt Ellie's selling vitamins, and it's a multi-level marketing thing, vitamins and all this, most of those are synthetic. So you have to be really aware, because the big deal is if you're taking something that doesn't really work for you, well, it's not always what it could be the vitamins. A lot of times these vitamins are just not well made, and also it can be you, in that you're not digesting or absorbing them too. So, but to go into a few more things about synthetic vitamins, they're man-made, occur in laboratories, not nature, are derived from petroleum and coal tar, and are cheap to manufacture. They are isolated chemicals, lacking the transporters and cofactors associated with natural vitamins. And what that means is they're not food anymore. They've been taken out of food context or from a coal tar source. They're not actually food. They are vitamins. They are a chemical vitamin. And so it works great in the biochemistry lab. It looks great on the label. But as far as actually working in the body, no, not like a carrot. So you have to be really aware of the differences with that. They appear to be the same as natural vitamins, but do not work the same way in the body. Again, this biochemistry thing. They appear to look chemically like that, but again, not all the cofactors and coenzymes are things for them to work correctly. You're often fractionated, often offering only a piece of the complete vitamin. A good example of that is vitamin C. The FDA allows ascorbic acid, the one part of the vitamin C complex, the protective part, to be sold as vitamin C. So you're not getting the whole vitamin C complex if you eat or take ascorbic acid. And most of your high dose vitamin C, like 500 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams or higher, are all ascorbic acid. The acid is fine. Many times people's guts are basic because of the constant consumption of sugary things and starches, and the ascorbic acid helps them, but not the way true vitamin C would help. Not as it would as in a scurvy patient, a patient who's really, really low in vitamin C complex. Synthetic fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K build up in the liver and adipose tissue, causing toxicity. And you'll see this in several of the research studies out there on vitamin E and vitamin A, especially. When you take in the synthetic form, the liver has to detoxify them as a chemical, and they build up and cause problems. And that's why you hear people, or even MDs, talking about, oh, these vitamins are bad, A and D. Well, the body's had vitamin A, vitamin E forever in a food context, but not in synthetics. So important, so important the difference there. And synthetic vitamins are baked on a cookie sheet at 350 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. Black petroleum distillates ooze out of them. So do you want to put that stuff in your body? I don't think so. Scientific studies have implicated synthetic vitamins as increasing these risks. Mortality increased in 47 clinical trials. Death from lung cancer increased by 46%. Death from cardiovascular disease increased by 26%. And birth defects increased by 400%. So again, just because your doctor says to take multiple vitamins, well, your body needs multiple vitamins, there's no doubt. But coming from the wrong source, it not only is not helpful, but a lot of times even bad for you. So it's important to know and get the right source of nutrition. So we'll go over some of the differences with natural vitamins or whole food nutrition. They are derived from living things like plants and are essential for normal human physiology. So again, they're just food. And what is the body supposed to have as its nourishment? Food. It's pretty simple, but you have to get it from the right source. You have to get it from a whole food source. They come in a food matrix family of factors that control the way the body utilizes them. So again, most of your foods have fiber with them, have other minerals and vitamins with them when you eat those foods. And that allows the body to absorb them and absorb them slower so they're not toxic and singulated or fractionated. Natural vitamins have high bioavailability due to the synergistic effect of several cofactors, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. They are biological cogs within cogs. So that's why getting your whole food vitamins or natural vitamins or supplements from a food are so much more important, work so much better in the body. And that's why when you look at a side of a label of on the jar or bottle, natural vitamins have a much smaller amount of that vitamin you're looking at. Synthetic vitamins, that's all they are, just a synthetic vitamin. So they can have higher amounts. So for instance, if we use, as an example, like C, the side has 60 milligrams of vitamin around there, I think. But if you look at Walmart, you can go there and get, it'll say 500 or 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And you think, well, I'm going to buy one. This 500 milligrams is a lot cheaper than this vitamin C complex. That's what I'm after is vitamin C. Well, again, the cheap one is just ascorbic acid. It's going to go right into your bowel and you're going to pee it out right away and not get any good effect of the actual vitamin C complex. Where using a Cataplex C or a vitamin C complex nutrition, the body's actually able to use that the way it was meant to be used and help the immune system, the ligaments, whatever else is going on there, the blood vascular system, the cardiovascular system. Vitamin C complex is so important for so much, and everyone is deficient in those. Anybody who has any kind of bleeding issues is deficient in vitamin C. Aspirin causes vitamin C deficiency. That's why you see a lot of people who are taking this baby aspirin every day have these blood spots everywhere because their blood capillaries are deficient in vitamin C. Since the FDA and USDA have no effective definition of natural, marketing claims of natural can contain as much as 90% synthetic. And again, this is the game in the government. It's biochemistry versus what actually works in the human body. Natural vitamins are non-toxic. They contain the whole vitamin, not just a portion. Of the hundreds of supplement companies, less than 5 bring 100% whole natural vitamins to the market. Many natural vitamin supplements have synthetics added to increase levels of that are depleted by the manufacturing process. And again, the source of the vitamin supplement is important. So we want a whole food plant-based or a whole food-based supplement, and then the manufacturing is so important. So that's why, if you're manufacturing heating into high values for some reason, to try to kill off bacteria or whatever, well, you destroy the nutritional value in things. Petroleum comes from nature, but that doesn't mean you should consume it. So again, this word natural is used as a marketing tool for all kinds of things. A rock is natural, but you wouldn't eat a rock. So again, so just realizing where a lot of this stuff comes from. The wording used causes all kind of trouble. So, so it's a good definition. For instance, on the synthetic vitamins, on the container's label, no source is listed as they have a chemical name. But on natural vitamins, on the container's label, a parentheses is present listing the plant or source derived from nature. So again, when you get there's a multivitamin out there that starts with a C and ends with drum. If you look at that, just all kind of chemical names listed there, and that's because it's all synthetic. And again, people are using those things thinking, man, I'm getting all this good stuff. They're not absorbing any of it. Most of the time, if you go ask the people at the porta potties place, the tablet comes all the way through, and the name is still on it in the bottom of the porta potty. So it's a deal where, again, spending nutrition or spending money for nutrition is a good idea, but it has to be the right kind of nutrition, and the body has to be able to digest and absorb it. So hopefully that gives you a lot of good information there. Again, if you have any questions too, put that in the comment section, and we'll get back to you on that, or we can answer those now if you're watching live. So we're ready to answer questions and all this. Again, 37 years of experience. I have hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of hours of study in this, and I have 2 board certifications in clinical nutrition. So I've been around it for a long time, and it's a passion of mine. And I really feel bad for people that go out and buy a lot of the stuff and really get no benefit from it. It's just unfortunate. So if you have questions, you can always stop by our office here too at 2000 Jefferson, Natural Health here in Quincy, Illinois, or give us a call, 217-228-2040. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run into our patient education workshop format, and I will explain right along with that how the body needs, or why, and how the body can absorb these nutrients and whole foods. So we'll go over some handouts. If you come to one of our patient education workshops, we'll give you a goodie bag that has this information in it. But we'll go over some of this. The first one here is called Myths and Truths About Nutrition. So again, a lot of information out there that is just sales, and it's so important that we understand that this is not the truth. It doesn't always work for everybody. It's just a myth, or sales, or just outright lies. So I'll read a couple of these so you can understand what we're talking about. So this one is kind of controversial now, but I'll explain it. So the first is called the myth. The myth is vegetarianism is healthy. And the truth is the annual all-cause death rate of vegetarian men is slightly more than the non-vegetarian men. And the annual all-cause of vegetarian women is significantly more than that of non-vegetarian women. Now, the thing to realize is when you're working with diets for people, we're meant to eat all kinds of things through our past and history. And I don't mean last 200 years, I mean like 10,000, 100,000 years ago. So when you're on a SAD diet, or the Standard American Diet, and you're eating junk all the time, if you go vegetarian and vegan, you're going to do a lot better. And you're going to do great. And you're going to detox all that gunk out. And you're really going to do well for a couple of years. And then the body starts to develop these deficiencies of the essential amino acids and essential fatty acids, proteins and fats, that you don't always get in the vegetarian diet. Now, you can do it successfully, but you really got to know what you're doing to do that. So that's why on these all-cause death rates, women have a little more problem because of the hormones they need for their bodies to work more. If they're not getting essential fatty acids correctly, they're not getting that. So they have more problems. So anyway, eating vegetables is definitely good, don't get me wrong. It's just that you got to know what you're doing with it to be really successful at it. The next one here, to avoid heart disease, we should use margarine instead of butter. And of course, that's a lie. Margarine eaters have twice the rate of heart disease as butter eaters. And why is that? Well, because you never were supposed to put margarine in your mouth, ever. That is 2 steps away chemically from plastic. It comes from a terrible seed oil source and processed and manufactured into something that's stable in margarine. And our bodies are supposed to use butter. Mankind has eaten butter forever. It's a great source of good oils and fats. And the big reason, of course, that the lie, this cholesterol lie, another big deal, but we have got lots of good information about that too. That's a whole other topic, but that was about butter having cholesterol. Well, the cholesterol that you get in your diet is only 5%, around 5% of the amount of cholesterol in the body. The other cholesterol the body's making, the liver is making it on purpose. So when you take cholesterol-lowering drugs, you're never asking the body, well, why are you making all this stuff? That's never asked. So anyway, butter's good for you. So a lot of other good fats too are, like coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, good old lard, tallow. Those good oils that we've had and been eating forever, they're good for you, as long as you digest them. Another one here, this is a one that's also kind of controversial. Beef causes colon cancer. We've heard that before, and it's really not true. As you look at the truth here, Argentina with higher beef consumption has lower rates of colon cancer than U.S. Mormons. We have a lower rate of colon cancer than vegetarian Seventh-day Adventists. And the deal is there, the biggest problem with meat is a very high dense nutritional food source. So the problem that comes in, it's not the meat that becomes the problem, it's the body's ability to digest it. And people that are eating meat, and like especially meat and potatoes, where they don't digest those two things together very well, if the meat doesn't digest, it hangs around in there, there can be problems. And again, it's not the meat's fault. It has to do with the body's ability to digest, the integrity of the bowel itself, the intestinal flora that's in there, the pH of the stomach, all kind of other factors. But it's really not the meat that is the cause of the problem. The next handout here, our health, what exactly is the problem? So there's a couple paragraphs I'd like to read to kind of explain this. We have drifted into this deplorable position of national malnutrition quite inadvertently. It is a result of scientific research with the objective of finding the best ways to create foods that are non-perishable, that can be made by mass production methods in central factories, and distributed so cheaply that they can sweep all of the competition from the market. Then, after developed, there's a suspicion that these quote-unquote foods are inadequate to support life. Modern advertising steps into propagandize the people into believing that there's nothing wrong with them. They are the products of scientific research intended to produce a food that is the last to the value, and the confused public is totally unable to arrive at any conclusion of fact and continues to blindly bother others as killing them off years ahead of their time. This is written by Dr. Royal Lee. Dr. Royal Lee was a dentist and actually an engineer that became a dentist just to figure out why people were having all these cavities back in those days. Written, it says 70 years here, but more like 90, 100 years ago now. And he's also the developer of Center Process Nutrition, the nutritional company we work with here at Genius, knew where to find in nature the highest and best quality of the vitamins he was after in a food source, and developed a very amazing way of processing these foods to make them available in a form that we can get a hold of, but that would last on the shelf. It's a very interesting story. Again, topic for a whole nother patient education workshop. So, so to go into our presentation boards here, this triangle is kind of a microcosm of the human body, and the three legs of the triangle are nutritional deficiency, organ dysfunction, and disease. And we're looking at any type of degenerative disease here. So that really is almost any disease you can think of. So basically, for instance, cardiovascular disease is a degeneration of the cardiovascular system. Diabetes is a degeneration of the sugar handling system. Cancer, a degeneration of the immune system. All kind of things, the diseases that are the scourge of mankind are a degenerative disease. And again, a lot of that can come from nutritional deficiency causing organ dysfunction. This becomes a big negative spiral. So I want to try to break that up by by introducing into this triangle, we can work on the nutritional deficiency side and reverse that. So if I take this off and put the word sugar on top, it works the same way. Sugar is very detrimental to the body. It's an energy source with no nutrition. It's like burning paper. And the body likes it because you have energy, but there's no nutritional support behind it. So it robs the body of nutrition, and it keeps the organs burning faster, and you just want more and more sugar. And again, you can tell out there if you drive down the streets and look at the different businesses, A lot of them are out there selling sugar. The body likes it, but it causes all kinds of nutritional deficiencies. So we'll go to the next board here. So a couple more handouts we have. Sugar's many disguises. There are 61 different names for sugar that we have listed here, probably more out there now. So if you go ahead and look at the label on the side of most processed foods, you'll find 3, 4, 5, 6 different names for sugar in there. And the manufacturers know that people like it. That's why they put it in there. I mean, people have a higher and higher sweet tooth. They want more. The 3 tastes is a handout we have, and looking at the body's taste for sugar, salt, and fats. And again, these were bred into us over the millennium because of our ability or our need to survive famines. The body can get by on sugar, salt, and fats if they can get some. And so that's how the manufacturers use that against us. So for instance, if you wanted to do, buy something low fat, well, that takes a lot of the good taste out of it, the fats. So then you have to put more sugar and salt in there, so you'll buy it. And also, sugar as a actual drug, it actually works as a drug in the body, is addictive. So if they can sell you processed foods with high amounts of sugar, you become addicted to that brand or that kind or that food. You just got to have it all the time. So it's quite the thing. On the bottom of our 3 tastes handout, you can go on YouTube, and there's a 60 Minutes article called "Is Sugar Toxic?" Just a question mark. Is sugar toxic? Question mark. And it brings you back to a 60 Minutes article. It's 5, 6, 7 years old by now, but it has a lot of good information. This information coming from other disciplines in medicine, not just me, but other PhD peoples and surgeons, heart surgeons, different kind of things. Also, Dr. Robert Lustig is the guy who they're interviewing in this article. He has his own YouTube channel with a lot of good information about this on sugars, fructose especially being the bad guy, and you can get a lot of good information from there. Dr. Robert Lustig on Is Sugar Toxic video. So I would be remiss in giving you all this information without giving you some way of figuring out how to help yourself. So that's why we do our nutrition response testing technique in our office. Nutrition response testing is a way for us to, in real time, check a patient and find out what nutritional needs they have. It's a very quick way of figuring this out. So what I'll do is have my son, Dr. Chip, come up, and we're going to demonstrate how this works. Now, over the many years that I've been involved with testing people, we've went through the blood work, urine analysis, hair analysis, salivary testing, and those tests are great for finding out disease processes, but they really don't give very much of a clue on nutritional deficiencies, especially in real time. I mean, who'd want to come in every week and have a big blood draw? So we can do that in our office with nutrition response testing, and we use an arm strength test as a way of getting and accessing these points, meridian and energy and acupuncture points in the body to find out what areas are deficient. So, for instance, if I'm checking the arm and I bring the arm up and have the patient hold the arm tight, we have a nice strong arm, good. So let's relax the arm. Our arm strength testing works on the theory of hypothermia. And it's just a reflex that we know how to work with the body. And how that works is, say for instance, you're going to go ice skating in the wintertime, and you're going out there and you're out on the lake. Well, you fall in, well, you're going to freeze to death, so get out and try to get back to the house to get warmed up. Well, the body will sacrifice the fingers and toes, the appendages, to keep the core alive. It wants to keep the brain alive, the heart alive, the vital organs. It'll sacrifice the appendages. So we use that principle for this to work. It's not magic. It's not voodoo. It's just simply a biological principle. So we're going to bring the arm out, match my pressure and hold. So we've got a strong arm. Now, if I know or if I find an organ in the body that is weak and I irritate the area around it, like the heart, I put pressure on the heart and the arm goes unlocked or goes weak, that means the body is taking energy out of that arm to support that weak heart. And so then we know we have a problem there. Then we can use some nutrition. This one is called Cardio Plus nutrition to help the heart. And we're going to put the energy of this food, similar energy as to when the sun comes through the window, that type of energy, the same energy, for instance, that an MRI works with. So we're going to use that energy interrelated with the body's energy. If I put that on the body and then irritate that heart again and the arm goes strong, then I know that this nutrition will help that problem, at least energetically. And so we would put a patient on a course of nutritional support to help strengthen that heart up. Now, of course, we can have other tests and things ran, but I know, especially with my clinical experience, that will help that heart and strengthen the heart, and the patient's symptoms will, of course, get better. So, good job. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Good. So, a good little data to understand is that symptoms are the last thing to come, but the first thing to leave. So when we have patients come in and they bring us a list of symptoms, those symptoms may go away pretty quickly, but that doesn't mean the problem's gone. So many things, like when taking, especially in medicine, you're taking the medication. Well, the symptom may be better, but the underlying problem is still there, brewing and brewing. Kind of like the red light on the dashboard of the car. Red light saying there's a problem there. You can put tape over it, and the symptom's gone, but the problem is brewing and brewing. So we want to always work towards, in our office, finding underlying causes. So that's why our nutrition response testing is so important. It's such an easy and good way, and very efficient, very effective, and very cost-effective way of finding what nutrition your body needs. Again, back to our previous discussion on your natural synthetic vitamins. Even then, you're out at Walmart going, there's two lanes of all these vitamin bottles. What do I need? Well, this is what we can use to figure out and answer that question for that person at that time. Everybody's bodies are different, different genetic things going on in there, different stresses, different foods people have eaten their whole lives. So it's a very good and easy way, a quick way of finding out what patients need. And then when we're doing this, we're designing a clinical nutritional approach for that person. So again, design means it's very particular, very personal for that body only. Clinical means it's a clinical program, meaning that we don't care what it is as long as it works. So again, back to nutrition. What difference does it make how much money you spend on it? If it doesn't do any good, you're not getting any benefit out of it. So it's so important to find out what works for that person. And then whole food nutrition, again, we're using whole foods, food that the body's meant to have. It's meant to work with. It's meant to be able to absorb. And that gets us into part of our nutrition response testing technique is checking our digestion points, making sure digestion is working correctly. For instance, the pancreas is working right, producing enzymes. The stomach is producing the hydrochloric acid correctly to digest things. The intestinal flora is correct. The bowel is not leaky, doesn't have leaky gut. Some of these things that cause all kind of problems with digestion, so that you don't absorb even good nutrition, even your good food. So, for instance, people are taking like the purple pill to stop, gastric reflux. Well, yeah, again, you stop the symptom, but you haven't addressed the problem at all. And then you don't ever absorb any nutrition. Your body ages so much faster on that stuff. So, again, really important to find underlying causes there. So a couple more of our handouts to go over. This one is what patients are saying. These are some testimonials from our other patients, on different health issues and how we've helped those. We've helped all kinds of things over the years, but anything you can think of, we've worked on and just help the patient out. This is a little handout on nutrition response testing, a little more explanation. You can always come to the office and get one of these. We have some other handouts for that too. I have a couple lab tests that I go over with the groups here, and I'll talk to you just quickly online. This is one, this was an ultrasound on a patient we had that had splenomegaly. Their spleen was enlarged. And so doing some nutrition work, some dietary work, then sometime later they did another one. It was all under control, no problem. So they were amazed, how did that happen? Nobody ever gets a spleen that doesn't have surgery. They don't have to remove. Then we had a blood test here looking at vitamin D levels that went way up, and we didn't even give them vitamin D. We just got them on good foods and the body's ability to digest. This is a hemoglobin A1C, looking again blood sugar, Went from a high number going down lower. We weren't quite at optimum yet, but we were going that way. Again, you can change a lot of these blood parameters by looking at diet and helping with good nutrition. Again, if you have any questions too, put them in the comment section, and then we'll get to those later, or we'll answer them later after this is finished. If patients come to our lectures here, they get a public health screening form to fill out so that we can give them a free initial screen on a nutritional test, give an idea of what we can do to help patients. So we also offer that to our audience out there in electronic land. And let's use tonight's secret word to be Clover, C-L-O-V-E-R. And if you come into our office, give us that word, we'll still do a free initial health screening so you can see what we do. No cost, no strings, just let you see what we can do. Because we're really here to help people, and we're tired of seeing people on lists of medications, lists of drugs, and we're also tired of seeing people come in that are broke with all the medical bills they have to deal with, or their parents or loved ones are headed to nursing homes. We don't like to see that. So we really want to help people, and at least let you realize there are alternatives to be able to help with that. We have a book list here if you want to read some information on that. We have some websites. There's some websites available. One of the best ones is the WestonAPrice.org website. A lot of good organic information there, and information on how to just eat organically, even grow organic foods. A lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of other things here too to look at, a lot of good resources. We have a videos list here, a lot of videos that are on YouTube that are free to look at. One here on Cut, Poison, Burn, that's about cancer. Hungry for Change on Food Supersize Me, about fast food restaurants. Pottinger's Cat Studies, the nutritional approach to genetics. A lot of good things to read through there. The new childhood in America. Again, all the kids are overweight, the ADHD, the learning disabilities, and of course autism. Autism is just skyrocketing because of all the problems associated with that. We help kids with that and help to remove the cause and get those kids better. And again, it's not an overnight cure. It's a thing where we have to figure out the problem in that case. So many cases of autism are linked to mercury, but it's not the only thing. So we have to figure that out in that patient. We have a little handout here on the spine. I am a chiropractor, so I am chiropractically trained, and that really looks at the structural ability of the body, the nervous system, and how the nervous system controls everything in the body, and how by adjusting you can help the nerves reestablish normal nerve supply and control of the body, all the organs. This particular handout has the organs listed, and then it has the nutritional supplements that we use to help that organ. It's real interesting there too. So chiropractic and nutrition work hand in hand very well together, and we also offer our emotional support too. This tie together very well. Our basic diet recommendations. Again, another great book is written by two heart specialists, Drs. Eads, Dan and Mary Eads, called Protein Power. That's a great book to read, and it's again looking at staying away from refined flour and sugar, which is really what caused a lot of our problems. Have been going on for 100 years now. And again, that's why if you look at the stats, all the degenerative diseases are going up, up, and up. Just keeps going up. Diabetes, all these things are going up. Cancer. And so if everything was working the way it was supposed to, all the medical care we're getting, they would all be down. No, they're all going up. So important to realize that. Our basic diet we have patients work with here at the office is proteins in the morning, salads for lunch, and protein and vegetable for evening. Real simple. We're not measuring cups of broccoli and that kind of other things and calories. We're just looking at what the quality of the food is. We work on quantity later. If weight's an issue, we deal with that later. But most of the time we find we get a patient healthy, the weight comes off all by itself. And so I always like to read this last little sentence here. Many of our eating habits have been trained into us for generations. For instance, Grandma is a good baker, Mom's a great baker, so every Christmas we eat 10 pounds of fudge, somehow catch the flu in January, have a history of diabetes and heart disease in their family. The point of that is that the genetics are part of things, but it's the science of epigenetics, the cause of what turns the genes on and off that are the most important. And the cause is diet and lifestyle. So you're getting a lot of information in the mainstream media about genetics, and yeah, that's great and true, but also to realize there's things you can do about it if you change diet and lifestyle. There's a lot of good information to know about there. Good, I think that's all my handouts. We have one more sheet to go through as we finish up here. So when patients come to our office, they're looking at 5 main symptoms. We try to limit to the 5 main symptoms. Many have many more than that, but try to watch these 5 main symptoms. And the idea there, that's just a place for us to start. But our goal is to help promote overall health. Get the body healthy, and again, these symptoms go away. It's like the dashboard in the dashboard. If the light's blinking on, the oil thing's blinking on. Well, you don't want to knock out the light. You want to go ahead and add oil. If you add oil, the light goes off. Same thing here. If we figure out the underlying causes of what's going on, and then fix that, get the body healed up from that, the symptoms go away. You have to treat the symptoms. You're working on the causes. So much more important. And of course, what we're using here is just whole food. We're not using any medication. We're not doing surgery. We're not doing invasive things that can cause death. We're just using food. So it's very safe. And it's just natural. And we can use it on babies. We can use it on older people. We can use it on people who are taking medications. We can program people that have had surgeries in the past. And even some of the inflammatory or the helping people get over inflammation for pain. Work with a lot of people on that. So there's just all kind of ways of helping the body to get rid of underlying causes. So again, it's so important to do that. So hopefully you've got some information here that you like. We're doing these every Monday at 6 o'clock or around there. I had a late patient tonight. We found out he had parasites. We had to help him out with that. So I took a little bit, so I got a little late. But otherwise, we're usually around 6 o'clock starting these videos. Don't forget to hit like down there. You can go on my YouTube channel, subscribe, and we'll have more information. We're going to do these every week. So lots more things. And we're trying to keep this information fairly simple, stay away from the biochemistry, but we may have a little bit in there. But we have that available too if people are interested in that. So don't forget, if you want a quick exam, the word Clover, come on in and we'll get you signed up for that. And the main thing that we're looking at too when we're doing the exam is to find out if you are a nutritional patient, because if you are a nutritional patient, there really isn't much else out there that can help. But if you are not a nutritional patient, then you're not a patient for here. We'll let you know that too. So anyway, have a great evening, and we'll hope to see you next weekend or next Monday night. Thanks.